Ricochet is all elite. Bryan Danielson is a world champion once again. And AEW All In is in the books. Was it better than WrestleMania? I don't know. We'll get all into it on today's episode of Wrestling with the Homies. Hey, y'all know me. It's the same OG. It's your boy Qwan the Don. And if you don't say the Don, you ain't saying it, right? And of course, I got my man, who my BFF, the king of the casuals, J. Cooley.
Yes, sir. Just casuals AEW. We here.
I know
we are here.
I know Cooley hate when I call him the king of the casuals, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Shots, man.
I'm gonna keep doing it. I feel like that's a fire day, bro. I feel like that's a dope head. I like the way it roll off my tongue. Pause.
Whoa,
big pause. On that note. Hey, but we in here early, man. We in here early to talk about some AEW. AEW. Man, I was asleep, bro. I was having a good dream. I was snoozing. Oh, yeah, by the way, our boy E, by the way, he our producer, but he chimes in every once in a while. He ain't just screaming in my ear like Vince McMahon no more. He on the show. So if you hear a voice and you don't see a face, just know that's our boy E. He ain't getting it cracking. Know what I'm saying? He from H-Town. He from H-Town like our boy Bun B, who pulled up at All In.
You know what I'm saying? H-Town, stand up. Hey, I loved it. I ain't gonna lie about that. That was dope.
Wait a minute. Can we talk about Bun B for a second? Before we get All In, shout out to Bun B for pulling up with Swerve Strickland at All In. But can we talk about Bun B? Because I always thought Bun B was like King OG,
Relax.
Texas Trill.
Okay.
Hey, yo, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I saw some it might have been like Colgate or Crest. It was some toothpaste commercial with Bun B in it.
Hey,
Bun B ain't seem like Texas Trill in that commercial. That man was talking like a customer service representative. I was like, yo.
Hey, don't do that. Bun B is the Snoop Dogg of Texas, bro. Like, don't do that. Snoop Dogg can sit at the Olympics for what did he say he was getting? A couple thousand other
$500K.
That ain't gangster, bro. So, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Now, it's getting you money. And that's gangster.
But look,
that's what Bun B
Snoop
is
Dogg,
on, bro. He is an ambassador at this point, dog.
But Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg whenever I see him. When I saw Texas Trill OG in that Crest commercial, that wasn't Bun B. He was out there talking like a customer service rep.
Him Drake.
He said, yeah, when I put it on my teeth, it turns white. I'm like, wait, is that Bun B?
Hey, man, listen.
Hey, yo, Pimp C would never.
Nah. You right about
Pimp
that.
C definitely would never. Pimp C would never. But yo, shout out to Bun B, man. Big Trill OG. That was my favorite moment.
Man. I love them boys, man. Shout out to Texas.
Shout out to UGK, Chameleonaire, all the Texas boys. Paul Wall, Lil Kiki.
Shout out to Texas, man. That's my home.
Shout out to Texas.
All that.
And that was super dope that Swerve pulled up with them and Westside Gun. Westside Gun was out there, yoing on the mic too. I'm glad they didn't give Swerve a mic though, because I ain't gonna hold you. The song is hot. That whole Swerve When I Drive is hot, but Swerve verse on that John, that shit was not hot at all.
I wrote it.
It was light.
It was a light pack. It was a mid. It was mid-tops. Mid-top Converse.
Woo Kid popped up.
Yeah, Woo Kid too. Hey, and with the DJ drop. Woo Kid is having a year, bro. Woo Kid is having a cool year. Like, not only is Woo Kid like he's a regular in TNA right now. I don't know if people know that, but he's managing AJ Francis in TNA. But also Woo Kid did he had the drop on the Drake joint, the push-ups joint. And that did numbers. So, hey, shout out to Who Kid.
He looked like Kid Cudi, man, low key. He like the normal version of Kid Cudi.
He looked like Brian Pupper without a beard, bro.
Whoa.
Anyway, man, Cooley, what was your favorite moment of All In? Before I get my talks and raw out, I just want to get your favorite moment. What was the best moment of the show? Because for me, it was Bun B.
It was too much, man. I don't know if it was Mariah May slapping her mom.
Oh, yeah, that was
I don't know if it was the main event. Crazy. It was just, matter of fact, Dustin Rhodes. That was my
Big Dustin.
It was hilarious because they thought he was about to dive over the top rope, and he was like, "Yep, you're right," and did a spin.
Yeah, hell no, I ain't doing all that. I'm gold dust, baby. I'm gold. I ain't doing all that. Dope show, man. Dope show. It might have been better than WrestleMania. We'll have that conversation after my Talk Some Raw segment. But can I hashtag Talk Some Raw for a second? Can I get my hashtag Talk Some Raw, my wrestling roast out the way?
Let's do it.
All right, well, let's hashtag Talk Some Raw. It's time for a pay-per-view that I'm sure made Meltzer cream all over his Wrangler jeans. Of course, I'm talking about AEW All In. First up was the Trios ladder match, aka Tony Khan's cheap attempt at featuring as many people on the show as possible. We've probably seen this match in AEW more times than we've heard Ayo in the Westside Gun verse. but it's always fun to watch. The double caked up Pog princess Toni Storm finally dropped that title to her freaky, less caked up doppelganger Mariah May. Fozzy performed before Jericho dropped his FTW title to Taz's twink son. And if you think Jericho's wrestling is shit, you should hear his music, respectfully. The tag team title match was up next, and I almost forgot that when FTR aren't being pep rally, company line towing, pretentious, Bret Hart glazing dorks, they're actually pretty good. Unfortunately, two bigger dorks won the match. Some random NXT dudes showed up after the match in soccer jerseys. It was kind of weird, but I digress. Christian Cage won a bootleg Royal Rumble that included the debut of our favorite beige gymnast, Polite Andrew Tate, Ricochet. Up next was the 5-star demon himself and our American hero with the artificial hairline from Yugoslavia, MJF, in a match that definitely soaked the front of Meltzer's dun-dun-duns. Ospreay won the match with a move so devastating that it helped Steven Richards start his YouTube career, a Tiger Driver. The CEO and DMD did their best to not put me to SLEEP. This show is long as hell. Britt lost, and I'm certain the internet is going to be normal about this. Darby showed up with thumbtacks glued to his face, and listen, I love AEW as much as the next man, but whoever signed off on this, man, what are y'all doing? Sting showed up looking like David Hasselhoff with a bad dye job and saved Darby from burning like Sexy Red's coochie. Yeah, I just said that on this podcast. I'm wildin'. And then finally, this was it. For all the marbles, career versus title, vegan versus eyeshadow, and holy shit. Dave Meltzer was probably off a honey pack when he watched this match. If you thought his star ratings were broken now, oh my God. He might give this match all the stars, all of them. Shit, he might give it the moon, give it Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Is Pluto still a planet? Multiple match of the year candidates, dope debuts, and surprise returns. I gotta give this pay-per-view a chef's kiss. No packs for Tony Khan. Put some respect on Tony Khan's name. All In was incredible. I love the show. Cooley.
Amazing.
Was this better than this year's WrestleMania? It might have been, bro. It might have been. First of all, Qwan, I'm gonna give you props, man. That's 4 hours into a minute. That's nuts. Because boy, I'm about to fall asleep too. I don't know how I did that.
All In.
Better than Mania.
Better than Mania.
He said it.
Ring-wise.
Okay. He had to clear it up.
Yeah, ring-wise. You know, you're going to get you a match out of a AEW pay-per-view.
Facts.
Regardless. I enjoyed every match. Even, I'm not going to... Matter of fact, the only match I really couldn't, I barely could get through was Britt Baker and Mercedes.
Terrible.
Hey, bro. Mercedes had to carry Britt. It was just so many lost spots.
Bad.
I was like, what is going on?
It was bad.
I did like the Eddie Guerrero spot. You know, I'm always like that. You know, Britt did her little Eddie Guerrero. But other than that, everything was 10 out of 10. The gauntlet match was dope. It was pretty dope. I didn't like the ending.
Yeah, Luchasaurus coming down to save Christian, and then Christian getting the win. It's like, did we really need Christian to win that? Come on. It's Ricochet's debut. Have him win the goddamn match.
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
Ricochet, man. One of my favorite flipping guys, man. He's dope.
And we're going to get into Ricochet in just a second, but I got to say this. All In, it'll never be the spectacle that WrestleMania is. WrestleMania is just like the Super Bowl of pro wrestling. It just is what it is. But with that aside, from a quality standpoint, I gotta say this year's All In was better than this year's WrestleMania, both nights.
Facts.
And don't get me wrong, I loved Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. It was great. But that match, when you compare that to Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland, you really see the difference between AEW and WWE. And that's not a shot at either company. That's not me trying to say that one is better than the other. You just see the clear difference because one of those matches was very. It was. I don't even know. It was popcorn. It was like a popcorn match. It was buffed up, shined up. Had the whole like cinematic thing with Undertaker coming out, and then The Rock shows up, and the lights go black. It was very cinematic and soap opera-ish, right? But then on the other side, you just had a straight up classic wrestling match. No bells and whistles, no people interfering besides Hangman Page. He tried to get involved. I love this feud. I know the payoff of that match is going to be incredible. But it was no lights going out and people coming from under the ring. It was no long, dramatic bullshit. It was just two guys going into that ring and doing what they do best, wrestle. It was chef's kiss for real. Incredible show.
Shout out to JR for calling Bryan Danielson Daniel Bryan like 3 times during that.
Hey JR, you just like us for real.
Is it time for him to retire?
Yo, it been time for JR to retire. I'm sorry. We was talking about this before we came live on air, but a lot of people just don't know when it's time to wrap it up. They don't.
Yeah, man.
They
the
don't.
Love of
And
the
it's
game for Jim Ross.
It got to be. Is it the love of the game for JR at this point? It has to be, right? Because he don't need the money. He's been selling JR barbecue sauce since I was 1.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if he has any other skills either. Like, he been doing this. You know what I mean? Like, what else he gonna do?
And also, not to get dark, but he's on his own now, you know, and that plays a part. He lost his wife a few years ago, and
that's true.
You know, he probably just
wants to be staying busy.
Yeah, he wants to stay active, stay busy. So,
I got a question though.
What's up?
So, was All In the biggest example of the real difference between WWE and AEW? Like, did they really show it this time? Like, okay, listen, this is what we're saying. We do a different thing. Was that? I feel like what you're saying is it was more clear now. Like, right, we're putting up our biggest events against each other.
Yeah,
you're saying that you had an enjoyable experience at the same level as WrestleMania,
Absolutely.
but you can clearly see it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But that happens every year. Like, every time All In comes around, it's clocking mania. Like, every time. In-ring ability is clocking it. But it's just the fact that they don't have those captivating stories that really, you know, bring your emotions out. And you know,
what?
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna give you a little bit pushback. I wouldn't even say it's not captivating stories, because honestly, when I look at Hangman and Swerve Strickland and Hangman's involvement in that main event, like, that's a story that I never want to end. That's one of the most captivating storylines in wrestling to me. But WWE style of storytelling is, I hate to use the word cookie cutter because that sounds disrespectful, but cookie cutter is not a bad thing. Being cookie cutter just means that you're mainstream friendly. It's a lot more eyes are going to watch something that is framed like a soap opera than they are something that's just built on the competitive spirit of the show. So, and that's really what WrestleMania was. WrestleMania is the climax of all their goofy, long-term soap opera-ish storylines like the Bloodline or whatever. Meanwhile, in All In, that was just the end of feuds, period. It wasn't no fancy storylines. It wasn't like some crazy bloodline in the main event. It was just Bryan Danielson's career versus Swerve Strickland's title. That was the story of the match. Nothing else. No Undertaker, no John Cena, none of that. Just me wrestling, my career, my livelihood versus your title. That was the story of the match. And that's less interesting to the outside world, but it's interesting to the wrestling fans like me, the sickos. So, yeah, it was definitely a clear example of the difference between AEW and WWE. And that's not a bad thing. Again,
basically you're saying, I mean, it is what it is. Basically what I'm hearing is you're saying that WWE is network TV and AEW is cable, right? Like, you watch CSI, right? People love CSI. You know what you're going to get, right? You know what you're going to get. But you love it, and AEW is trying to be True Detective, right? Where you could love that show, but you got to be a specific audience,
right? Like, put it like this. You know, I love the talking hip hop. You know, I love hip hop analogies for everything I do. WWE is Drake. They're the mainstream artist that gets all the accolades. They're going to make the songs that might be kind of questionable, but they're going to go number 1 on the pop charts. It just is what it is. And AEW to me is like J. Cole. They might try to pop star every now and then. They might like sprinkle a little bit of that on top. But for the most part, they're going to stay true to themselves and do what they do best, which is rap. That's all they want to do, is just come to the table and rap. They don't want they don't want to dress it up. They don't want number 1 hits. They don't want to be top 5, top 3, none of that. They just want to come to the table and do what they do best, which is rap, AKA wrestle.
But AEW, you know, they would try to beef. I don't know about Cole, but that's
yeah.
Look, that's what I was gonna say.
That's another story.
What is the trajectory there?
Yeah, Tony Khan gonna take shots. J. Cole gonna run.
Yeah. I think the real thing for me on that is the constant comparison, right? We're always comparing AEW and WWE and what AEW should do to try to take. But if they're not even trying to do that, then what is the real trajectory for AEW? What does the success look like? Because we have to understand that success doesn't mean being CSI, right? They don't want to be WWE. So then that means, what does success really mean? So we can stop this crazy comparison.
And the thing is, the comparison is never going to stop just because from the nature of online fans. When it's two wrestling companies at the top, it's always going to be a comparison. But AEW is mega successful. I don't want anybody to get that twisted because I saw people online taking shots at the attendance. They were saying that half the arena was taped off. They were making fun of the 55K because that was less than like the 78,000 they did the year prior. But you got to understand, a wrestling company that's not WWE putting 55,000 people in one arena is absolutely insane. Crazy. TNA's biggest audience, when TNA was the number 2, their biggest audience of all time was like 20,000. So it's, you really can't take shots at AEW for that. AEW is mega successful. Will they ever topple the Giant and be number 1? Who knows? I'm probably going to go out on a limb and say, no, they're probably not. But they don't have to. They really don't have to. They can. WWE and AEW can coexist being the number 1 and 2. That's perfectly fine. I think fans just got to accept that. Because I know
tribalism.
It's definitely tribalism. And it's come from both sides. It's not just all AEW fans who hate the big giant, even though it is a lot of that. It's a lot of WWE fans, too, that just they feel disrespected when people say that the AEW product is better than WWE's. I'm sure we're probably going to get some pushback just for saying All In was better than WrestleMania because they don't like that. They want to believe that everything WWE does is just the greatest shit ever.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that WWE does a lot of things that they do is the greatest shit ever, but a lot of things they do also kind of sucks. It is what it is.
I mean, for the record, it wasn't necessarily they're different things, right? I understand what you're saying. Like, right, AEW All In was amazing. And based on what we're watching it for, you can say it was better. But just so we're clear, I don't agree that it was better than the Cody storyline coming to fruition.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, right, that was the greatest thing we've seen in whatever, right? But that's not what we're saying. We're talking about it as a show individually by itself as a thing, right?
Right. Like just the quality of the wrestling. But obviously, there's a lot more to wrestling than just wrestling, which sounds crazy. But if you know, you know. There's a lot more to wrestling than just the in-ring aspect of it. But I'm only talking about the in-ring right now. From an in-ring aspect, that AEW pay-per-view was one of the best I've seen.
All In was fire. It was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Hats off to Tony Khan. Tony Khan, we putting respect on your name today, brother. I woke up early. This man singing R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Tony Khan, I woke up early out my sleep. I was sleep good, bro. I was having a beautiful dream. I was with a bad biddy. We was on the island. We was eating coconuts and eating oranges. We were drinking water. It was beautiful. But I had to wake up early to talk about goddamn AEW. I'm putting some respect on your name, Tony Khan.
So I got a question, man. So Mariah May versus Tony Storm was like, that's one of my favorite little stories going on.
I don't know why.
Because it's like, the boss, the protege trying to take over the boss.
And she got that ass. She got that ass.
Shout
out to Tony Storm.
You know the vibes. What's next for Tony, man? Because how she left the ring and the video that they show her walking out of the stadium, I think she's going into her Joker phase, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lose her marbles. She's about to lose her marbles, and I cannot wait, man.
Right.
She's face right now, so.
Yeah, and that whole I Love Lucy thing she was doing with the black and white, like, it was cool. It was cute. It kind of reminded me of the skit they had on In Living Color way back. I don't know if y'all remember that. I know Ernest remember. It was the white chick from In Living Color. She would be like talking in black and white, sitting on the bus bench, just talking to random people.
That was I was minding my own business.
That was
you go shoot an age shot at me for no reason. Like, I was minding my own. I'm doing research. I'm getting the game together for the rest of the pod. You know what I'm saying? I'm minding my own.
He's old, guys. He's old. If y'all ain't know that old, he's old. Nah, he really not that old. He just older than us, but he a young man.
Cool, I'm old. It's fine.
Bro said In Living Color.
Classic show, by the way. Shout out to Jim Carrey.
But no, I do remember that.
Right, and Tony Storm's gimmick is kind of a version of that. It's really funny, but after losing that title, I feel like this might be her time to switch it up a little bit, go to the dark side. I want to see Joker. But I don't want to see like the Joker that we know, like not the Joker from like all the DC movies. No, I want to see the Arthur Fleck version of the Joker. I want to see her channel her Joaquin Phoenix and be that unhinged emo version of the Joker. That's the Joker.
That'd be dope, man. Yeah, I'm rocking with Tony, man. I've seen her her level up since NXT, so it's amazing seeing her where she is right now. It was dope seeing Nigel McGuinness come out during the gauntlet match. I said, "Whoa!"
I thought he was never going to wrestle again.
Yeah, because he retired like 5-6 years.
5-6 years
he had
ago.
hepatitis B, and that kind of killed his whole career. And I'm like, dang,
but he
bro,
was
like 48, 49.
No, but he looked good, bro. He was out there hitting Towers of London and all that. I'm like, yo, look at Nigel McGuinness back. But I do want to talk about something from this show that we briefly touched on, but we haven't really spoken on it. Ricochet is all elite. Ricochet. And shout out to the GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans. I mentioned them in our Talk Some Raw, and I called them 2 random NXT dudes. That's just me joking. I'm a fan of GYV. They were good in NXT, and they actually did their thing in TNA recently as well. So I'm glad that they're on the big stage again. But Ricochet debuted, right? I'm happy to see Ricochet in AEW, but I did not like the debut. I'm going to be honest. I did not like the debut.
What did you not like about the debut?
So here's the thing, dog. And I spoke on it on this podcast like a week ago. I wanted Ricochet to come in and establish himself as something different. I wanted him to really come in and establish himself as a new version of Ricochet, not come in and do the same shit that he was doing in WWE. Like, he came out with the same presentation, the same look, the same tights, damn near the same music, dog. Came in wrestling the same. It was like, all right, bro, I saw this on WWE main event a month ago. This is the same Ricochet that got taken out by Braun Breaker 2 months ago. What are we doing? I wanted to see a new version of Ricochet. I want to see Andrew Tate Ricochet.
Andrew Tate. He should have came out in a hairpiece acting like Councilman Tate from Power, bro. That would have, like, I'd have been like, whoa, who is this guy? Like, you know what I'm saying? But that was kind of like my fear with Ricochet going to AEW. I'm like, okay, so this high-flying, flipping animal is going to a wrestling company where 70%, 80% of the guys do the same thing. So what can be the difference between him and these guys?
See, that's the thing.
Let me guess, Qwan, you want to see an unhinged version of Ricochet?
No.
Qwan wants to see everybody unhinged, bro.
Not at all.
That's his go-to character.
Nah, so Ricochet don't give me unhinged at all. I want to see I would say Infoshay. What the hell am I on? I want to see Ricochet thinking he the shit. I want to see Ricochet pull up with some glasses and a mink fur on, like I'm the shit. Like, I want to see Ricochet like MVP back in the day. I want Ricochet to be like, yo, y'all don't deserve to have me here. I wrestle better than all y'all. Like, y'all can't even touch my boots. Matter of fact, I'm not even wrestling tonight because y'all don't deserve to see me in this city. So I'm just gonna walk out. Do y'all think? And I want him to stop high flying. I want him to tease the high flying moments. He'll go to the top rope like he's gonna do some crazy 630 flip and then be like, nah, y'all don't deserve to see that. I'm too cool for that. That's the Ricochet I want to see. I don't want to see the same old smiley baby face, gold tights Ricochet.
Well, maybe they did that debut to reel, the fans in, and then maybe he'll change later.
And that's always the thing, because that could be it. That could be it. But the thing about Ricochet is that he's dope. He's super dope in ring. Don't get me wrong. But like you said, Cooley, it's 70 dudes in AEW that do what Ricochet is doing. Hologram does what Ricochet is doing. Damn near better. Vikingo can do what Ricochet is doing. It's millions of people on that roster that do what he's doing, so do something different. Ricochet. First name Rick, last name O'Shea.
Ricochet.
Do something different, dog.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of when you watching the X-Men and you notice it be like a couple of them that had similar powers, and you be like, why y'all together? Like, it's like Colossus, you know what I'm saying? Like when Colossus and the other strong one, it's like, why y'all both? Like, I don't need two of y'all.
Right. That's like having two Incredible Hulks. We got a white Hulk and a red Hulk.
Yeah, like having Colossus and the Hulk. It's like, why are we doing that? Like, why are we doing that? I don't need both of those.
At all, dog. Like, at all. It's like having two Usos. We got Jey Uso. We don't need Jimmy Uso. That's a joke. Shout out to the twins. But Cooley, before we get off of All In, dog, I do want to get your thoughts on Bryan Danielson being our new World Heavyweight Champion, because after the show, he got on that mic in the media scrum and he kind of implied that he was retiring. What? So, Cooley, I got to ask you, if Bryan Danielson is actually retiring, was it the right move to put the world title on him if he gonna goddamn leave? What was the reason for that?
I've said before, man. I see him as a Cena, man. He's done all he can. He deserves his flowers, so why not leave on top. Khabib did it in MMA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he did it in MMA. He retired on top with the champion and got out. But I did some digging and I have some thoughts on this. I don't think he's retired like right after the match. I think he will hand the belt back to Swerve at Wrestle Dream, October 12th. Maybe. Because Wrestle Dream is in Washington.
Yes, sir. And Bryan Danielson is
from Washington. Swerve Strickland is from Washington. So that's like the perfect, homegoing for Bryan Danielson. And I truly believe he deserves it, man. He's been putting his all in. No pun intended.
Pause. No pun intended.
for the longest, man.
Look at you.
One of the greatest ever, man. So
definitely,
he just want to be with his kids, man. It was touching seeing his daughter, with him, and it's like, he just want to be with his kids, man. He's done.
Do you really want to see a Bryan Danielson run though? Like, did you really want to see that?
Oh, so I'm cool. I'm cool with seeing a Bryan Danielson run.
That's Qwan's favorite wrestler.
Yeah, that's my favorite wrestler of all time. Not in terms of just like character and all that, but just in ring ability. Bryan Danielson is probably the person that got me to come back to WWE, because I was done with WWE for a while because I didn't think the product was good. So him being so nice in ring got me to be a fan again. So seeing him walk away, it hurts, but a hell of a career he had. I would have definitely been down to see him have a long title run. But at the same time, Bryan Danielson has been through a lot of injuries. I don't want to see him get hurt. I want to see him retire and be able to be healthy and live life with his daughters and Brie Bella. So, yeah. And this might be it for Bryan Danielson.
The fans online are so annoying. I've been seeing his All-In win was way better than his WrestleMania 30 win. Like, bro, why are we comparing this?
First of all, we know we gonna do that though.
First of all, Mania 30 was a harder road. Bro had to get through Hunter, Randy Orton, and Batista. What are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about, man?
Right, and I do want to acknowledge that. I forget who said it in our group chat. It might have been Gary. It might have been Ice. Somebody said it. But they were like, when you compare things, it kind of ruins the experience, because then you're like looking for things to pinpoint and kind of downplay to make the other one look better. So, and I get them. But I do think that it's something that's innate in humans. We always going to compare. When Kendrick Lamar dropped Mr. Morale in the Big Steppers, it was a dope album on its own, but what did we do? We compared it to his other best albums. We were just like, is this better than Good Kid? Maybe not. Is this better than what was the other one? To Pimp a Butterfly.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Damn, probably not. And that kind of shaped our view on that album. Same thing with Vultures 2. Vultures 2 is kind of hot, to be honest, but a lot of people are just like, well, is it better than Vultures 1? No, Vultures 1 is clearly better. So you know what? Vultures 2 sucks. And it's like, nah, it don't really suck. It's if you don't compare it to Vultures 1, it doesn't suck. It's just not as good as Vultures 1. But, that's kind of just what humans do.
It just ain't Charles Barkley, man. It's just a wannabe.
You ain't the real Charles Barkley. You just the wannabe.
Barkley?
You just be gone. Be gone, wannabe. Be gone.
The crazy thing about comparing is you only compare things to other things that are better. So if you're going to compare something to something that you know is better, well, then it's obviously going to suck. Don't nobody say, well, it's better than Soulja Boy album, right? Because we already know it's going to be better than that, right? So, the whole comparing thing is always it's always a fugazi.
Right. Like if Joker 2 drops, right, and it sucks, what are they going to say? Oh, this movie sucks, right? But if it's good, if Joker 2 drops and it's good, what are they going to say? But is it better than the first Joker?
Is it better than the first one? The
is
sequels are never better than the OG.
What they really should be saying is it's better than Madam Web. Like, as long as it's better than Madam Web, we should be good.
Right. Is it better than Venom? Is it better than Blade 2? I never liked the Blade series. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Whoa,
this is unpopular to say. Shout out to
the first two dope. After that, it got weird.
Part 3 was horrible because they went off script and Wesley was mad on set the whole time, so he tainted that whole movie on purpose. So.
He saw Triple H come in and said, "Man, hell no! Why is Triple H in this movie, bro?"
Fun fact: Ryan Reynolds is trying to get a Blade, Deadpool style with Wesley going.
Oh, I'm down. I am so down. I ain't even like the Blade movie, but I'm down.
I forgot Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3.
Yeah.
Like I literally forgot that.
And they had beef. Yeah. They had beef for years, but apparently it was a fake beef. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. They just like passed it off like it was a beef, but that's a whole different topic. But yeah, man, how did y'all feel at home about AEW All In? Was it the best pay-per-view of the year? Did it edge SummerSlam? Did it edge WrestleMania? I think it did. I'm sorry, don't kill me, but I think it did. But you let me know in the comments. And how do you feel about Bryan Danielson retiring? Where does he rank amongst the greatest of all time in ring? Is he number one? Is he behind Eddie Guerrero? Is he behind Chris? I'm going to say Chris Jericho. Hell no, he ain't behind Chris Jericho. Is he behind Chris Benoit? Possibly. Bret Hart? I don't know. You let us know in the comments. And if you haven't already, please, you know what I'm going to say. It's coming. It's always coming. Pause.
Whoa.
Like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a rating. 5 stars, hopefully. But if you got to hit the 4, it's okay. I won't hold it against you. Interact with our stuff, man. Cooley said, I will. Cooley gonna give you them hands, bro. Cooley gonna give you them hands. Hey, somebody told me Cooley looked like Sir.
What?
Somebody was watching the podcast and was like, yo, Cooley kind of looks like Sir.
Nah. I shot Sir before. I look nothing like Sir.
No, he don't.
Yeah, y'all just saying that because y'all probably know him. Yeah, you do.
He confirmed. He confirmed.
Looks, that's
got locks,
over there. Y'all probably know the nigga. That's why y'all saying that.
Hey, you know a lot of people out here, man. We tapped in. We coaches. Yeah. We industry plants. But but anywho, do we got a game today? Is it time for fun and games?
Yes, we do. Yes.
All right, what we doing?
It's time for fun. All right, so we're still on AEW All In. So in lieu of the recent results of All In, we are playing Champion or Challenger. Champion or Challenger. So I'm going to list 3 wrestlers, and you have to make a decision on what you want to do with them in the company at this point. Right?
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, right? So first, Darby Allin. Should Darby continue his momentum toward another title, or should he help elevate other stars at this point?
I'm gonna say he should challenge for a title because at this point I feel like Darby Allin has put over enough people. That's all. To be honest, Darby Allin has been jobbing since the beginning of AEW, dog. And he's one of the best wrestlers there. They had him doing a little tag team thing with Sting, and they were undefeated, but we all knew what that was. That was just a tribute to Sting. Like that wasn't real. But
and now he's on his own now.
Right. So it's time for Darby Allin to do something in a real way and become AEW World Champion. I'm here for that. So I'm going with champion.
Just to piggyback off Qwan, man, going for champion. We finally seen him on his own, on his solo mission now, and he's killing every match that he's doing. So let's get that gold.
Hey, them thumbtacks on his face was dumb, though. Don't ever do that again.
I don't know what be wrong with that man's mental. Bro be doing the craziest things. Like, yo.
Hey, I'm just going to grab some thumbtacks and glue them to my face and then wrestle a match with it. Like, what? Tony Khan got to grow some nuts and be like, no. Tony Khan, learn how to say no. You can't let these dudes do whatever they want. It's okay to allow people to do things they want sometimes, but not all the time. If a dude come to you with thumbtacks, bro, a thumbtack glued to his temple, do you know how dangerous that is? Tony Khan, grow some nuts. Stop letting bullshit like that slide. Sorry, I had to go off on that rant because that was
it really in there, or did they take the tack out?
Nah,
I hope they took the tack off.
And just made it look like because I can't imagine he really did that crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know, man. He be jumping off mountains and stuff.
That's
so
right.
I can imagine.
Darby does stuff like that. He's crazy.
No, you're right. He does have that Sandman vibe to him.
Right. Shout out to Sandman. Shout out to Sandman. I love Sandman.
ECW. Oh, bro.
Yeah. All right. Next wrestler, MJF. After retaining, he retained correctly.
He lost.
He lost, right? Yeah, he lost.
Right.
Will Ospreay is champ. I'm like, damn, did he retain?
Right. Okay.
Nah, he lost. So, he lost that jump.
Should MJF stay in the championship picture, or is it time for him to chase other challenges? Like, are they doing this to bring MJF back up? Like, what would you do? What are we doing? What would you do with MJF based on what just happened? That's basically the question.
I'm gonna be honest. You want to take this one, or you want me to take it, Cooley?
You got it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. All right, Cooley got it.
All right, so
Cooley be on the cosign train. He like the cosign.
Hey. My brother be speaking some facts sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But look, man. What I would do with MJF is, first of all, we gonna go backstage and we gonna figure this gimmick out. We gonna switch it up. We gonna switch that up, and then I want you to go for the world title. I want you to go after that chase for the world title, which means going after Strickland, anybody in the way. He needs to be on that level. He shouldn't be challenging for no international title. I don't want to see MJ at that level. He's a bigger superstar than that.
Yeah, facts. So look, this is where I'm gonna go with it. This is what I would like to see MJF do. Hear me out. I want to see MJF show up still holding on to that USA title and believing in his heart that he's champion. I want to see a delusional MJF who really believes that the fans love him. No more heel. I mean, like, obviously he'll still be a heel, but I want to see him believing in his heart that he's not a heel and that he's a face and that the fans love him. I want him to be delusional. I want him to wear the Hulk Hogan tights, the yellow tights with the red knee pads and the boots, and I want to see him delusional. I want to see MJF truly believe that the fans love him and want to see him and cut babyface promos. Meanwhile, he's getting booed out of the goddamn building. That's something new. That's something new for MJF. We haven't seen that before. Let's see that. And he definitely should not get another championship at this point. He was gone for mad long. He came back, got the international title. All right, drop that. Now rock out for a little bit. Do something else. Go on some side quests. Let new people at the top shine. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the world title for what, a year? Damn near a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
He had a reign of terror. So stay away from that.
But they dropped the ball towards the end.
Yeah, but he got hurt. AKA had to go fix his hairline in Turkey. So it was scheduled. It was in the calendar. So you had to.
I'm listening to y'all answer these questions, and what's interesting is that AEW seems to put themselves in a real interesting predicament by not having like recurring storylines per episode, because it's almost like it's hard to determine what to do with the wrestler now, because you can't just put them in a side mission. Like, it's either you doing the thing or you just jobbing. You know what I mean?
Or you want Collision.
Yeah, you just wrestling, like you're just wrestling for no reason, or you're going after something, right? Like personal feuds, really, and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
See, and that's the problem. And that's one of the biggest problems with AEW.
That's what I'm hearing. That's interesting.
You either wrestling Swerve Strickland or you want Collision wrestling against Dante Martin in a match that nobody's watching because nobody's watching Collision.
It's pointless. It's pointless.
All right, last one, and this is a throw. What would you do with Orange Cassidy?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shit.
Orange Cassidy is the definition of we thought something was going to happen, but nah.
What I would do with Orange Cassidy, not to bring up WWE, but I will have him in a pocket like Jey Uso. I would just keep him rolling for entertainment.
Yep.
As long as it can go. He don't need no title. He can be LA Knight just like LA Knight been doing for the past 2 years without a title. He can be LA Knight and Jey Uso. Just keep it going for entertainment purposes, and that is it.
Yo, and honestly, in my heart, I do agree with Cooley. Like, just keep Orange Cassidy doing what he's doing. It's working to a degree that they need it to. Like, it might not be a main event caliber gimmick, but people buy into the whole hands in the pockets. I'm lazy. I'm a slouch. My pyro is just one little firework that goes boop, and that's it. Like, people like it, so just keep it going. Don't let it. It's inconsequential. It doesn't really mean much. But a part of me would like to see Orange Cassidy kind of switch it up and just like start cutting promos and like showing some life, because we haven't seen that from him. It's always been
say unhinged. I was
waiting
on it.
I don't want to see it. I don't know where this is coming from. I've never said unhinged I wanted to see anybody unhinged. Bro.
Right. Now I gotta go do the recon. That's fair.
Who else? Who else did I put unhinged on? Like, I just want to see him doing something that's not being a slouch and being lazy. Maybe he turned up all of a sudden. Maybe his new gimmick is that I'm always turned up and hype. I can't get unhyped. Something happened. I got hit in my head and knocked the screw loose, and now I'm hyped all the time. Instead of my hands being in my pocket, I'm waving my hands from side to side. I don't know, something. But it's AEW, so he gonna keep his hand in his pockets and doing the same old shit.
And he didn't have nothing else prior to that he can fall back on, as far as a Jey Uso. He can fall back to his heel because he had the bloodline.
Right.
Orange Cassidy don't really. I don't know if it's a fear thing that they want to just keep it like that. I don't know. But
right, but he been orange from the jump. Since AEW started, he was orange.
Pretty much.
Which is funny because like back in the day, I'm about to show how much of a nerd I am, yo. So back in Chikara, it was an independent wrestling company called Chikara back in the day, and my boy Orange Cassidy actually wrestled under a mask. He was called Fire Ant, and it was kind of weird. He had a whole faction of ants. It sounds crazy, but Chikara was like an American version of Lucha Libre. So most people wore a mask, and Mike Quackenbush started the company. Ricochet was over there at one point. He had the long hair. He looked like a Puerto Rican.
Chicken Little with hair.
Right. It was kind of weird. I want to say Swerve Strickland might have wrestled over there too. But maybe go back to a mask. I don't know. But something different,
bro. Heck no.
Well,
I mean, it's either that or his hands in his pockets.
That was all I had. Champion and challenger.
Right. But,
yeah. Y'all look like y'all want everybody to just keep playing their roles.
Hey, if it's working, it's working. You know what I'm saying? If Orange Cassidy got the fans reacting, then keep it going. He's selling merch, keep it going. It's inconsequential. It don't really matter to the overall of the show, so keep it going. Anyway, you know what I'm asking, Cooley, because I ask it every episode. You got anything to get off them chesticles before we get out of here? Yes, I just said chesticles.
It's so
before
much.
you yell at it. I just said chesticles, bro.
I just want to say I'm tired, boss. We got so much wrestling coming up. I forgot we have All Out in 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Bro, we have Raw, NXT, Dynamite, New Japan, SmackDown, Rampage. It's crazy, man. It's just so much wrestling, but it's a beautiful thing going on. I want to say I'm excited for All Out, but it's I really hate the fact that they have 2 major pay-per-views back to back. It's kind of
a week from each other.
It's weird, but I guess. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen after the All Out pay-per-view. I want to see what Bryan Danielson is going to do on Wednesday on Dynamite, man.
Hey,
we're gonna see, man.
Speaking of All Out, hey, yo, I just realized something. We are approaching the day that CM Punk got fired from AEW.
Already?
Yes.
That's been a year? That seems like it just happened.
And the only reason I remember this is because CM Punk got fired 2 days before All Out. And I remember they had to put on a pay-per-view and the fans were booing and chanting CM Punk, and it was a whole thing. We are approaching that time again.
Bruh.
That's
time
insane.
Is crazy, man. Time is an illusion, by the way. I truly believe that. But
on that note,
we are out of here. Make sure you like and subscribe. This is Wrestling with the Homies. We out of here. Peace. We'll see y'all tomorrow for WWE Raw.